Using 300 years of history as a blueprint for this coastal South Carolina Lowcountry city, Beaufort residents are charting a 4th century, one that embraces all that is good about small-town southern living. Essentially, we are creating a Lowcountry micropolitan. Over the past 4 years, our city has studied our past to plan a better future, based on who we have been and who we are, rather than what others have done in other places, says Beaufort Mayor Billy Kaiserling. We want to avoid losing our hometown quality to the pressures of becoming any place USA. So what's the idea behind a micropolitan? Self-proclaimed urban escapee Katie McCaskey of the George Bowers Grocery in Stanton, Virginia, wrote the Micropolitan Manifesto that celebrates the small businesses and small-town life that have provided the bedrock for America's growth since the nation's founding. Let's define a micropolitan as a place anchored with a human-scaled, walkable downtown. In other words, micropolitans are the smallest cities possible, and each have the potential to be simultaneously micro and cosmopolitan, McCaskey writes. It's not about urban planning. It's about possibility planning and future creating. It's about people in our smallest cities who choose to be change makers. These are the business builders and community leaders of the new economy, McCaskey says. Working to boost the Beaufort economy is key to the success of the 12,000 resident city. With a traditional main street of shops that largely cater to tourists, and with other commercial nodes spread across the city, Beaufort City Council and Redevelopment Commission are finding ways to promote economic infill in the city's heart. Based on citizen input and sharing among the council, staff, and public, Mayor Kaiserling says Beaufort has come a long way toward planning a tomorrow that will become even more environmentally, culturally, and fiscally sustainable into the future. The reality is the Beaufort we are seeking very much reflects the small city that existed, but was sucked apart by suburban sprawl, by big box retailing competing with mom and pops, with traffic congestion because people have to get in their cars for almost every activity the greater community offers, and because of antiquated zoning, Mayor Kaiserling says. Beaufort City Manager Scott Dadson, with an extensive background in city planning and economics, observes that we see that within our natural environment of water, soil, and sun, we have built a beautiful physical place, one that is enviable and desired by many. We also see that we are not perfect. We have scarce resources, and we have an economy in need of diversification. But through this all, we are still a community. And more importantly, we are a community that is worth investing in, nurturing, sowing, and reaping for the benefit of all. In the Beaufort Fire Department, all-purpose response vehicles are now capable of handling over 70% of the call volume. Less expensive vehicles are replacing oversized or high-dollar custom vehicles. All these are initiatives necessary to motivate the interest of those contemplating and investing in our micropolitan Beaufort. We live in a small, vibrant coastal paradise. We are a change-maker type of fire department, says Beaufort Fire Chief Sammy Negron. Beaufort epitomizes the definition of a micropolitan city as a place anchored with a human-scaled walkable downtown, notes Planning Director Libby Anderson. The Planning Department, along with appointed officials and our nonprofit partners, has worked diligently to ensure that the greater downtown area remains an active, pedestrian-oriented place. At times, this has not been a popular position, Anderson says. From dealing with stormwater management and keeping dozens of city parks and open spaces clean, to helping residents get their cats out of trees, Beaufort's Public Works Department is ready to help. We celebrate everything that's great about small towns, Public Works Director Isaiah Smalls says. The Beaufort Redevelopment Commission helps grow the Beaufort economies. Our mission engages the entire Beaufort community to refocus on reinvestment and redevelopment initiatives that create the micropolitan, dense city living on a small scale, that has served as a successful, resilient model for the historic core of Beaufort for more than 300 years, says Craig Lewis. What we have discovered through our comprehensive and civic master planning processes is that we are a collection of neighborhoods, connected sometimes by roads or pathways, but mostly by schools, churches, youth sports, events in our parks, on our walks in the morning or evening, meeting at the store or through work or on the sidewalk, says City Manager Dadson. These connections are self-initiated, but they are supported through the physical network of where we live. Where we live is an important distinction to those of us in Beaufort, and we take our 4th century seriously. As a community, we have an opportunity to do something truly remarkable, says Scott Dadson, the city manager. Working hand in hand, literally, with several neighborhood associations and volunteers, Beaufort's police, fire, public works, and others have helped remove more than 400 tons of debris in recent years. Some of it was yard debris from vacant lots. Some of it was abandoned furniture that was too heavy for elderly residents to remove. Almost all of it was highly flammable. We all work together to keep our city safe and looking good. Beaufort deserves no less, says Mayor Keisling.